Well, look who's back.
Of course, I could not miss this one. This is the pod where, dude, I could have been in like Fiji, middle of nowhere, bro. And I was gonna make this pod. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I could have been kidnapped by the cartel, bro. Like in some bunker somewhere, out here tearing my fingers apart, bro. You know? Who's your manager? Rosinho, Rosinho. And I would have found a way to make this pod
Wow.
because this is the pod where we ask the heavy questions. The heavy questions. Yeah, man. And I got my Rosinho signed limited edition notebook, which I'm gonna be, putting some notes in, right? Because I think it's time, bro. I think it's time that you guys be on the hot seat for this one. And yeah, man. So you guys tell me how you guys feeling.
Damn, Easter dinner got you all fucked up, eh?
Like I told you, bro, my dinner is still waiting for me. I'm gonna have to reheat that in the microwave probably. But yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Some OJ and Henny.
Nah, listen. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's I mean it's a shame on one end because I do think you guys should have won that game on paper. There's no reason for you guys not to win that game, right? So um
It's
yeah, man.
football. Football, it happens.
I mean, you weren't on the last pod, but both CJ and I said that St. Mary's is a place that
Mm,
has been a bogey ground for us, and same Southampton themselves have caused us a lot of problems. And they're on, I think, like a 14 game winless streak. Winning streak.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, there's either way, there's no excuse. I mean, before we get into it, episode 96, welcome back. Those of you listening to this, it's Easter Monday, so happy Easter from CJ, Laurent, and I. We hope you guys had a great weekend, enjoying your Easter dinner. I mean, we're recording this Sunday night, but you'll be listening to it Monday. Um, a little bit of an odd one, I would say, because prior to the international break, the boys had a pod without me that we chatted about, or they chatted about what happened with Arsenal getting dismantled in the Carabao Cup. And, CJ and I were chatting off air prior to the last recording. And, going into this game, I'm like, okay, they're going to bounce back because we've seen them bounce back, right? They have one loss and then they go on an 11-game winning streak. They have another loss, they go on a 14-game winning streak. So the trend that we've seen is Arsenal lose one, then they just keep winning out. But there's something about this game that I think CJ was talking about back in December or even late November. That the style of play from our attacking forwards is not good enough. We're winning games, but it still wasn't convincing. And I know for the better part of the last year or so, we've chatted about it ever since we started recording this pod as a trio. We've talked about it, whether it's on air, off air, in our group chat. Is it system related or is it personnel? And Laurent, I know as much as you want to give the banter, there's no questions that you will say that on paper that squad that Arsenal put out should have won. They were the better squad. No questions asked. I don't think any rival fan will say that the team that Arsenal put out was incapable of beating Southampton. However, what you saw in this game is exactly what I think CJ would say is you have a 16-year-old who has yet to what's the word I'm looking for? To be, I don't want to say ruined, but to be engraved in the Arteta system and have that drilled in his head. And he was the only player that actually saw that we thought was going to do anything. He was the man of the match for us. Every single other player played the Arteta system. And I think that's where the problem is. And for me, at this moment in time, whether he goes on to win the Champions League and the Premier League, unless he changes changes his ideas, changes his theories, I want Arteta out.
Nah, man.
I want him
Time,
out.
time out. Time
Why?
out.
Why time out?
Time out. Bro, you are
Yo.
telling us that if this guy wins you the Premier League and the Champions League, you still want him out?
If
Nah,
he,
man.
I said if he doesn't change his system, yes, I want him out.
What?
Yeah, why not?
Really?
Why not?
I
Coming,
mean,
I mean, if it came from CJ, I would understand, but coming from you, you
okay.
had managers who win things and then they get sacked. Yeah, 100%.
Yo, I think
This
that'd
is
be the biggest slap in the face to him. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, if that guy wins you those trophies and you guys kick him out, bro, that is like worse than sacking Maresca. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, it's almost
he got
like,
the squad that he always wanted. Sorry to cut you off. He got the squad that he always wanted. He got to a Carabao Cup final, and
mm,
watching that game, he played the Carabao Cup final the same way Liam Rossini played the second leg of the Carabao Cup at the Emirates.
mm,
You those type of games, those what type of one-off games, you go for it.
mm,
If you get beat on the counter, you get beat on the counter, but you go for it. You don't just sit back and sit in your shell. So he
right.
got that wrong. And then this Southampton game, why is it that a 16-year-old is carrying the team when you got veterans, you got international players?
Mm.
Like, and you would have thought that after that 2 weeks, coming off the Carabao Cup game, like you would be able to capitalize and be able to go there and dominate the game. Southampton dominated us. Southampton dominated us. Period. Stewart on the left wing dominated Ben White. What happened to Ben White? And for me, the reason why I say Arteta out is because you're seeing the same trend over and over again. There's only so much that I can put blinders and try to defend and deflect. Yeah, even if he does win the Premier League and Champions League, which I believe, one of them is more realistic than the other. Even if he does a double, if this is the style of play that he's going to have, even if we get Vinicius as left wing next year, the system needs to change. Why is it that Gyökeres goes to international duty and thrives, but then he comes back to us and he's struggling?
I mean, he did score for you guys, no? Like,
He sure, sure, but in the grand scheme of things,
mm,
how did he go from being in Sporting to coming here, and then all of a sudden he's struggling? Yes, the underlying numbers are good for him, but the output is not what we expected, right?
mm,
And I truly think this game was eye opening for me that it was a system thing,
mm.
right? The players obviously didn't show up. Like I'm not gonna just put all the burden on Arteta. The players didn't show up. I think we saw a lot of players that will not be wearing an Arsenal shirt after this year. The likes of Jesus, Norgard, Kepa, Ben White.
What Kepa? I mean, what Kepa do?
No distribution, no
Mm,
distribution at all. He's so anxious on the ball. Right? There's no calmness about it. And I can promise you that in training, they're probably getting his feet wet and they're trying to help him understand how to play with the ball. Right? Martinelli, like the only thing saving him and putting him on the field is the fact that he tracks back. Odegaard, like I understand why you're trying to do a back heel there for the first goal. Why not run back? You made the mistake and you're the captain of this club. Injury aside, if you're on the pitch, you're fit. You have 60 minutes in you, and he got taken off after 60 minutes. So the doctors, the physios, everyone understands that you can play for 60 minutes and you can go all out for 60 minutes. Why not track back? Gabriel Jesus, you won Premier Leagues with Man City. What like this was your chance. This was your chance to take left wing for yourself. So yeah, we were joking about the quadruple, and I think you asked me the one. Yeah, if we had won the Carabao Cup, I probably would have been like, yeah, it's more realistic. But
mm.
I would have been okay with a loss, but again, it comes back to not in this manner. There's been many times that we've had a loss or we've had a poor performance, and we're like, we want to see a performance afterwards, and we haven't seen it. Right? Sure, we've won like after the Wolves game, after the United game, but we still haven't seen that convincing performance.
Do you guys think the City game had any impact on this game whatsoever?
No.
Psychologically, like, so let's say maybe you guys won, you guys beat City, you guys win versus Southampton. You know what I'm saying? Like, or nah, no impact, no effect.
For me, at least, I don't know about CJ, but for me, no. I think if anything, losing that Carabao Cup game means that like you're going to go in this game and try to be like, okay, no, 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 that was just a one-off. I don't know, CJ, do you agree?
I don't think the two are directly related. And there's a couple of things in terms of my reasons and reasoning for this game and what I saw overall, right, when it comes to who's to blame. And I'll get into that. But the main reason why I don't think the two are linked is because, again, we're playing two completely different sides here. Look at the team that played yesterday versus the team that started the Carabao Cup final. Um, it's pretty much a fully rotated 11, you know?
Right.
So I think that has a lot to do with yesterday's result. But before I get into um, my thoughts and on the game and stuff, Mehrdad, I just want to ask you like a little bit more, just kind of press you on your, because the biggest thing that you caught us out with yesterday was the Arteta out thing, right? Like I didn't see that coming. Laurent didn't see that coming. And we've been sort of playing unconvincingly for the last little while, and it's still kept us top of the league. It's kept us in a good spot in the Champions League. It's got us this far in the FA Cup and the Carabao. So we were always gonna, we kind of all said, right? And I think you even said at the beginning of the season, like, let's not be reactionary, let's not be emotional in the moment. Let's sort of wait till the season plays out and then see, where we go in terms of our judgment from him. So I've been disappointed with many of our performances this season, and even when we won, I've still come away with that saying, man, like, why are we playing like this? Upset with how the style of play with the football we're seeing, but it's getting us the results. Um, so my sort of question is like, here, okay, first of all, here's where I sort of stand on it is we have more important things to play for. Like, whilst I'm upset that we lost yesterday, I can understand, like, there's a lot of people getting on Arteta's back, and for once, it's actually crazy that I'm actually not the one who's getting on his back as much. I'm more so the one that's giving him a little bit of grace and saying, in my personal opinion, flat out, yesterday was more on the players than on Arteta. And let me tell you why. We have a squad for a reason, right? We're playing Southampton with all due respect to them. We're playing Southampton away, a championship side. And yes, we knew it was going to be a tough game, but the team that played yesterday, right? If we're using our squad, which we have to use because it's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. We have to use our squad players. Um, we've seen during this international break that those who are kind of giving Arsenal a hard time and giving us shit, saying dark arts, pulling players out, some of these players are genuinely injured, right? Like these guys, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just a full-on dark arts thing, right? The fact that Timber, Rice, Saka couldn't make the squad yesterday. Hincapié is obviously injured. He couldn't make the squad yesterday. We know Eze's out. Like these are some of these are serious injuries, right? Gabriel came back and immediately had to come out of the game. Well, not immediately, but like, in the second half, we saw Gabriel come out of the game. That's something Gabriel will rarely do unless he's like, there's genuinely a concern there, you know? We know he's been nursing a knee injury, and I have a theory that it's that same knee that he probably re-injured, which is why he had to come out of the game. Like these are genuine injuries that we have to contend with. Um, and we have serious things to like. No, I'm not going to say bigger fish to fry because we've used that before and it's burned us in the ass, right? We've tried to say, oh, we'll throw away the cups in previous seasons to try and win the Premier League, and we haven't won them. But this season, in the position that we're in, right? He's now four title races in a row, 6 years in the job, and we're now closer than we've ever been to a Premier League. He would never have been judged on winning the FA Cup or even the Carabao Cup if he had still won those and lost the Premier League, let's say, and lost out on the Champions League. People like myself would be judging him because we said that his ultimate goal this season was to win the Prem or the Champions League. Give us one of the majors. 6 years in, a billion spent. Your main remit this season, your main goal at the beginning of the season was to win one of the majors and probably the Premier League being the top of the priority list after three title races in. So my thing was yesterday, like he knows that, right? And again, we have to use the squad. And this is where I think personally those players let him down. We're talking about experienced international players, Gabriel Jesus, who's won 3 or 4 Premier Leagues, Gabriel Martinelli, who somehow has made his way into the Brazil squad. Players like that, Ben White, Miles Lewis Skelly, Kepa, none of these squad players cover themselves in any glory. Odegaard, the captain of the damn club, you know? Like that team, I'm sorry, that team for me was good enough to go out there and get the job done against Southampton because we cannot from here on out, there's not going to be any room for rotation. We have so many games left between the Champions League and the Premier League. There's no way we could have played Declan Rice and forced him in the squad yesterday, or Saka, or Timber, or like you know what I mean? We have so many other important games coming up. We simply had to rotate yesterday. We had to. And those squad players should have been good enough to get the job done for Arteta. And a lot of them let themselves down. And a lot of them pretty much said to the manager and to the rest of us yesterday that we're not trusting you down the stretch when it comes to a potential Champions semifinal or a game at the Etihad in the Premier League where the Premier League title is on the line. We can't trust the likes of Jesus, Ben White, Skelly, and these guys to start. They let us down yesterday, in my opinion. You know, because from here on out, it's pretty much all important games. Champions League and Premier League, it's all important games. We expect Rice, Saka, and these guys, Timber, to play 90 minutes from here on out for the rest of the season. It was just not. It's not possible. These are human beings. They're not robots, right? So the one game that we had to rotate was yesterday's game, and those squad players should have been good enough to get the job done. I'm sorry, and pretty much almost all of them, except for Max Dallman, let the manager down, in my opinion, and let the team down. Yes, of course, Arteta is always going to be to blame. If you zoom out, right, zoom out out of the bigger lens, yes, that's another cup exit for Arteta, and that doesn't look good. Now he's under serious pressure to win trophies, so, of course. But zooming in, if you just focus on that game individually, I think Arteta put out a rotated side that he needed to do because again, we cannot run players into the ground. We needed to rotate. Yesterday's game was the only real game that we can probably rotate, and what we had on the field should have been good enough to get the job done. And so many of those guys let themselves down, as well as like I said, the manager and the team. Those guys let themselves down. Jesus, again, I'm looking at him first and foremost. You know what I mean? Like that was probably the worst game I've seen him play, and it just confirmed for me that he's done at this club at the end of the season. He's a shadow of himself. Thank you for your service. Those injuries screwed you probably, but players like him are done, man. Like I think a lot of yesterday was complete spotlight on certain players, and they showed that they're either washed or they're not made for this or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So that's where I stand on it. I think Arteta had to rotate because he knows that he cannot be judged on the FA Cup. He's always and ultimately going to be judged on the Prem or the Champs, and he knows that. And so if losing the FA Cup because you rotated means that you're out of the FA Cup, so be it. But at the end of this season, I promise you, if we win one of those two remaining competitions that we're in, nobody is going to remember the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup losses, to be honest with you. So that's my thing on it, and it's funny coming. This is coming from me, one of Arteta's. I've been on this case for the longest time, and I don't know if you were expecting me to come on the pod and talk like this, Mehrdad. If you're surprised to hear me talk like this, but I think
Yeah,
the
I
players
am.
really let us down yesterday, and so that's why. And again, coming back to you, just questioning you on like what's the difference between this game and again Wolves where we drew or Forest where we dropped points or United where we lost? Like what's the difference yesterday? Because it's kind of been like this, right? Is it the fact that we went out of the cup? Because again, ultimately, as I
No,
said, he's going to be judged based on what you predicted that we're going to win at the end of the season, which is a Prem and a Champs. So if he does that, like surely that should keep him in a job, no? Like
I
why?
think I
What
think it's
happened
what you
specifically yesterday? Why?
I think is exactly what you said that he had to rotate, right? Because we all were sitting on the pod prior to the turn of the new year, and we were saying, okay, there's going to be crucial games coming up. Why is Christian Norgard not be coming on? Why is Lewis Kelly not coming on? Why are we running Zubimendi and Declan Rice to the ground, even Bukayo Saka, right? The one game that comes to mind for me is Leeds, January 31st. We won 4-0. Declan Rice, Zubimendi played 90 minutes. Jurien Timber played 90 minutes. Gabriel Saliba played 90 minutes. When you're up 4-0, right? You're up 2-0 at the 39th minute. Sure, you don't want to take people off. But by the 69th minute, we scored our third goal. Why is it that when we score our third goal, you're not rotating these crucial players and getting some minutes into their legs so that they can get back into the rhythm of things? That is why I blame Arteta. The other reason why I blame Arteta is because if you look at our games, we haven't controlled the game to give us that breathing room to be able to rotate in the game, right? You kind of see Man City sometimes, even Chelsea. Like you see these teams that kind of go out and take the game and they just run with it. They smell blood and they run with it. Once we scored that tying goal, everyone on the ground was expecting Arsenal to go on, but we kind of went back into our shell, and that is why I blame Arteta. It's not because of this game. It's not because we went out of the cup. It's because you had so many opportunities in so many games to to kick on, to win, And to put the game away early, which is something that you and I have always discussed, right? Like just put the game early, put away the game early so you can give rest to the players. Liverpool, right? Jurgen Klopp, sure, he would rarely take off Salah, but he would be able to rotate pieces, take players off to get rest into their legs because of the crucial run that's coming, right? That's my bone to pick with Arteta. And yes, I've been an Arteta truther. I probably will still be an Arteta truther if he can do the double and get Champions League and Premier League, right? But if he doesn't change this way, this style, he will never be anything beyond maybe a one cup per season manager. That's what my issue is. Yes, early on in the year, sure, do we have any games to throw away? No, but why is it that we're struggling against the Wolves? Why is it that when we score, we get scored on right away? Why is it that we can't break down a Forest? You know what I mean? Those are the games. Those are the games that you really need to kind of just go in, finish the game off in 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and give 30 minutes of rest to important players. That's what we haven't done all year. That's why you see Zubamendi struggling. That's why you see Rice struggling, Gabriel, Saliba.
Mhm.
That's where my issue is. This game just exposed it. This game literally exposed it. Because Southampton, we're up for it. And yes, we have the better players, but the players that we played, they were off rhythm. They had no rhythm at all. And that's what the issue is, right? Like, yes, I understand you wanted to go perfect in the Champions League. Yes, we got a lot of money for that. So from a business standpoint and wanting to sign players next year, yeah, we're way ahead of the curve. If we're talking about like pure business, FA Cup doesn't mean anything. Because right now we've already made 90 million from Champions League or 90 million or so, and we only made 4 million from exiting here in the quarterfinals. So when you're looking at the grand scheme of things from a business point of view for the club, of course, Champions League means more. Of course, Premier League means more. But you can't think so narrow minded to it, right? You kind of have to go out and look. Okay, what's a trend that we've seen for the past 5 6 years? He runs his players to the ground, even though he's given a squad. You have to put trust in those players. Yes, they may not be as skilled. Like Ben White may not be as skilled as Timber, but also if you're not playing this guy, like he has no rhythm. What if you played him week in and week out? He would look better than Timber, right? It's not like you're comparing like whoever the right back for Southampton was to Timber. You're comparing Ben White, who did a job for us for 2, 3, 4 seasons until Timber came in, right? So that's why I blame Arteta, right? Cup competition aside, like yeah, it's embarrassing. I think it's more embarrassing for the players than it is for the fans because I think a lot of like fans are like, okay, we got bigger fish to fry. Let's just keep going because we're still there for the Champions League. We still have a good chance for Premier League. But this is also a result of Arteta not managing his players properly, right? That's the way I look at it. That's why I said Arteta out yesterday.
Laurent, what's your stance on it, like from the outside looking in? Because again, for me, like where I agree with you, Mehrdad, is up to this point he should have trusted in his squad players and use them a little bit more up to this point so that maybe they have a little bit more rhythm and sharpness. Like some can say that, yeah, some if they feel like they're a little bit more trusted, they would have more commitment to the cause. Because aside from the actual performance, it looked like there's a lot of players out there that look like they lacked the heart for it, which is even more worrying, right? Some of them just didn't
Mm-hmm.
look like they couldn't be bothered in the way they carried themselves on the pitch. Um, but at the same time, for me, like again, I think in a business, right? Whether you've been playing, 90 minutes week in, week out or not, as a professional, I also feel like it's up to you to keep yourself fit and ready and available that when the manager calls on you, you're in. Ben White can't use the fact that he hasn't been playing much as an excuse because he went away with England on an international break and you got game time in both of those games. So you should be ready on Saturday match day for Arsenal to come in when the manager calls upon you and keep yourself, fit in physical tip-top shape and condition to be ready, mentally switched on to come in and play, and for me, I didn't see that from a lot of the guys, and that's why I'm disappointed. I really and truly think that they let themselves down because that's your opportunity now, right? You've gotten your chance to say, hey, let me just not only show up for this game, but let me just put myself in contention for the run in the Champions League and the Premier League to what I mean? That was my audition to say, yo, trust me more when the big games come around. Do you think Arteta now is going to trust any of those guys, Jesus, in these guys? Like, so that's I don't know, man. But Laurent, like from the outside looking in, like what do you think, and where do you stand on that situation? And Arteta out, how much do you blame him for yesterday versus the players and whatnot?
I mean, yeah, no, I think in regards to just overall player performance as well. I mean, again, the manager sets you up, right, and then you go out there and perform. There's a few mistakes, man, even in the back that I saw players making, right, as if you came into the game like a bit drunk, per se, right? Loose passes, right, things like that. And it's like you said, man, it's as if some of these players just weren't even up for it, right? Um, but I do think in regards to the Arteta outstance, the point that Mehrdad made at the beginning when he referenced Max Dahman and the fact that you know there you have a player who's not ingrained in the system as of yet. So right, like that, I see like that break, right, that he has on his attacking players, right, hasn't been drilled into to that player yet. So you kind of see a player that's just playing free, right, in terms of his attacking and whatnot. And that was right over the course of those 90 minutes. That was your most dangerous players, right, in terms of even looking to get by players, right? Creating those chances and whatnot. And for me, I do feel like a bit of that you have to put on the manager, right? Because it's almost like you're not allowing your players to play, right? You're not giving them that trust, that license to go out there, sometimes carry the ball or look to beat certain players, right? In certain ways. Whereas you contrast that with Southampton and their wingers, right? And you kind of got to see what that looks like, right? When a player is holding on to the ball maybe a bit too long, right? Because he wants to get by a player and cause problems, right? And I felt for me, right, that was where the difference was, right? Um, Whereas again, we go back to that point of control that Arteta he always wants to have control, right? On his players, on the games. And I think for me that it limits you guys, right? Um, in terms of your creative outlet and how you guys go going forward. So all in all, right? Yes, the players were to blame, given the fact that their performances, right? Even the energy, right? It just wasn't up to par, right? It wasn't up to the standard. But I do feel as well that Arteta has a head to play in that in terms of the trust that you allow your players, right? Because in games like this, again, you have to have players that want to create. And if your
Mm-hmm.
manager isn't, giving you that freedom, or if you feel like you're going to be reprimanded, right? You're playing on eggshells essentially. So yeah, man. Um, Yeah, I think I do think things have to change because you already know where I stand on this, right? I think the both of you know that, um, especially in regards to Champions League, right? You cannot win in these kind of competitions with these kind of performances, right? So on one end, I mean, you had key players that weren't even playing. That's another factor there, right? So we'll see, man. We'll see how that looks going forward for you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I told you as well. I said this yesterday, Laurent. Like my judgment on Arteta is going to be reserved by the end of the season. I mean, obviously I had my stance on him previously, and it's up to him to change my mind, right? And no one's going to be louder than me if we go potless again, as I said to you yesterday, Laurent. Like I've asked him to win the majors, and I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to continue to judge him based on what he ends up with by the end of the season, because we've been knocked out of two. We were 0 for 2 in the two trophies so far, but the two that are left are the two big ones. So, but if he puts more pressure on himself, because again, one we've never won, and the other we haven't won in 20 plus years. So he's put extra pressure on himself to go and get the
Mm-hmm.
one of these two. And if he comes out potless, like I said, boy, I'm going to be one of the people at the front of the queue coming for him, right? And the Arteta outs and all that stuff. Let's be honest. So, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and see because so long as he gets one of them, I'm cool for now. But he's got a massive 2 months ahead of him, man. He's gonna be under massive pressure.
Okay, I got a genuine question for the both of you. Now I did ask the first question, whereas right that first game did it have any bearing on this one? Now I'm just adding on to with this game. Do you guys think that these two games back to back will have any impact whatsoever in terms of your psychological output going into the next game, or even maybe if you want the next series of game, right? Um, because again, if you guys don't get a result at Sporting, for me, it's almost like crisis mode um, for the remaining of your for the remainder of the campaign, right? So do you guys feel like you guys just brush this off, or this could actually hit a bit of nerves?
Mehrdad, do you want to answer that first?
Um, I think it gives Man City a psychological boost,
Yeah.
but for us, no, I don't think it changes anything. I think I think from a fan base, yeah. I think if we go down 1-0 at home, I think you're gonna hear groans, you're gonna hear boos, you're gonna hear unrest at the Emirates. But for the players, I don't think so. I think if this was 3 years ago, yes. But these players have gone through it so many times now that I think they're mentally at a different place. However, crazier things have happened. I do agree with you. Like, if we don't get a result at Sporting, like that Bournemouth game is going to be, there's going to be so much intensity on that Bournemouth game. So for me, no, I would say not really. I think the only thing it does is it gives Man City a little bit of a psychological boost.
Huh? That's for CJ.
For me, I think it's actually better in some ways that our next game is an away game as opposed to a home game. For a couple of reasons that Mehrdad just said. At home, right, off the back of going out of two cups, if your next game is a home game after that, we've seen how the Emirates crowd can be sometimes, a little bit impatient when things aren't going our way, and it's not the fans' fault. It's part of the trauma of, come on, we really want to get this team over the line in something. So if the next game was a home game, right, in either Premier League or Champions League, and any stray pass or any ball that goes out of play or any turnover, you hear the moans and the groans early, and then
Yeah.
that gets the players, and then everybody gets tense and gets nervous. So it's almost better that we're playing an away game first. To be honest with you, I think that might suit us, away game in Europe. And if you're looking at the one game in isolation, I think it'll have a domino effect, right? Like you're asking if this is going to have an effect on the next series of games. Well, I think if this game goes all right, then the next set of games will be okay for us. But I think it's one at a time at this moment in time, right? If we don't get a result, obviously on Tuesday, then yeah, we're in big trouble, to be honest with you. But in terms of this immediate game, will it have an effect? I think because we're away from home, and I think you're going to see some of the first teamers back in the mix for this game. Um, I don't think it'll have as much of a damning effect. I'm more so concerned about what happens on the weekend at Bournemouth when we're back in the Premier League, at the Emirates. But
Hmm.
yeah, let's see, man. It's going to be tricky.
Um, Another manager who's on the hot seat. My favorite manager, Arnie Slot. Oh my days.
Jeez.
That.
Listen, you weren't here, Laurent, but I predicted Liverpool to win this game because I'm like, Liverpool need this more than City.
Mm.
And I did not expect that. I did not expect Van Dijk to be bent over, pause, and to be absolutely annihilated by Holland. And Dominic Szoboszlai at the end of the game, like arguing with the fan, like what is going on at Liverpool? And there's rumblings coming out that there's a massive rebuild being started, and they want Arnie Slot to see it through. Really? Really? Arnie Slot? Really? Fuck. I hope it's Arnie Slot. I want to see Arnie Slot here for the next 5 years. You know?
I can't
But
lie. I don't think much is being spoken about Liverpool's season, and the fact that they spent the money they spent, brought in the players that they brought in, and you go out of the FA Cup like that, you're out of the title race a long time ago, nowhere near it for the Carabao Cup. I mean, all you're left to fighting for is the Champions League, and that's not looking good. So I feel like, we're not hearing as much about Liverpool in the media at the moment about the season they're having, considering what was expected of them. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you predicted them to win
Yeah.
off of their signings, and there's rumblings that Isak wants out already.
Dude,
Yeah?
that is
Yeah,
crazy. I heard about that.
there's rumblings that
What?
Isak wants to go to Barcelona because he knows that Ekitike is the first choice. So like this is what I'm saying. Like it's all collapsing, and Liverpool are, as much as people want to paint that Arsenal are bottle jobs. Liverpool are the biggest bottle jobs in history. How do you win a Premier League? You spend $500 million and you're even worse. How does it make sense? Even Chelsea that spend money that they don't even have and they sell car parks back to themselves to make money. When they spend money, they actually get a little bit better. They go from seventh to sixth place. There's a slight improvement that you see. But Liverpool,
Somehow Chelsea's always catching strays, eh?
hey, I mean they're gonna get back into the Conference League and win it again.
Bro,
Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that.
we'll see you in the Champions League, bro. Just know we'll see you in Champions League, bro.
Wait, this year, next year,
Next
three
year.
years from now?
Next year, bro. Next
Are
year.
you so you're playing in Champions League next year?
Yeah, next year we'll play in Champions League. And then even
Can we put a bet on this?
yeah, let's go $100.
Let me see where you guys are sitting at in the league. You guys are on 48 points. So one, two, three, 48 points. Oh, do I bet against? Ooh, is it Liverpool or Chelsea? And you guys don't have Enzo Fernandez. Oh, oh. So you're guaranteed Champions League next year.
I think we do, bro. I mean, again, we have plus we I think we have a few things
Oh, yeah, I'll take that bet. Easy, done. I'll take that bet. I'll take that
Jeez.
bet. I just looked at the fixture list. I'll take that bet in a heartbeat. Done.
mm,
Jeez.
Man
This is
City at
gonna be
home, United at home, Brighton away, Forest at home, Liverpool away, Spurs at home, Sunderland away. I'll take that bet any day.
Listen, I
Damn.
know we have one more pod before the next set of Premier League fixtures, but if there's one result, I need you guys to get Laurent. I beg, please, against Man City, please do us one favor. I'll be
uh,
rooting for you guys. If you guys do that one favor for us, I'll be rooting for you to get Champions League football from here on out, bro. Please.
What I will say though on Man City, because I really don't want to spend too much time talking about them, there is something happening in the background that we don't that we're maybe not putting two and two together. All these big name players that are leaving City,
Mm,
there is something coming down the pipeline with the 115. There's no way that you're telling me that Rodri, who doesn't even have social media, is speaking out saying that you can't turn down Madrid, and then Pep trying to pour cold water on it. Bernardo Silva, yes, he's wanted to leave for many years, but like, why all of a sudden now? There is something happening in the background. And Pep Guardiola going all in and just seeing the raw emotion on his face with that Carabao Cup win, and now with that FA Cup, like, I don't know.
what you
There's
think they're gonna
something.
get that points deduction and then what relegation?
I don't know how realistic the 60 points are, but I do think that there is something happening. I mean, of course they're going to appeal it. Whatever happens, they're going to appeal it.
Mm.
But something is happening in the background. Um, Chelsea 7-0, Port Vale.
Hey, a man like African Gooner out here trying to tell me that Chelsea isn't gonna say much in the FA Cup, right? Would you look at it? Would you look at that? Suddenly, I can see a path to the final. It's pretty ironic, but yeah, man. Listen, it's a Chelsea way. Um, and even that, yo, listen, we can be lifting silverware with the season that we've had, and that's again that's a Chelsea model, right? In the mud, and you still manage to find that diamond in the rough there, and you hold that up high, right?
Is
So
that diamond in the rough Alejandro Garnacho?
hey man, hey, you're yeah, yeah, no that yeah, that guy is yeah, he's a character.
He
I'll
scored.
I'll leave it at that. I mean, he made sure he scored because he didn't want anyone else taking the penalty. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he told Esteval, yo, like move the fuck on, bro. I'm taking this. And then even when he celebrated, I think he had to remind himself that, oh shit, we're
Port
already
Vale.
yeah, yeah, Port Vale, we're already up. Because if not, he's probably gonna go to yeah, that whole yeah, yeah.
He did that one?
No, no, no. But
No, no,
it
he
looked like
stopped.
it looked like he wanted to.
Mhm.
Yeah, he stopped himself.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
hey, impressive 7-0. You guys have a week to prepare for Man City.
mm,
Um, no, oh, what do you think of that Enzo Fernandez and Cucurella situation? Do you
I
think it
mean,
was justified to suspend him for 2 games?
so
Cucurella has been suspended as well?
no, no,
No,
it
not
wasn't.
Cucurella.
Yeah, it was
Just
strictly
Enzo.
Enzo. I do think in case like that you have to set out consequences for players. Because it's just it's unprofessional at the end of the day, right? And
So then
unfair.
why play him for the rest of the season?
Hmm?
Why even play him for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, it was like you make an example, right? You miss the next two games, right? And then lesson learned, right? Obviously, and I think it was the same thing. More well, you could say similar with what Slot did to Salah, right? When you speak out in the media like that, and you're not assessing the weight of your comments, right? And the brand you're representing and all of that, right? Yeah, I mean, I think it's justified. And all in all, plus I think I prefer to see Cole Palmer in that 10th position, right? See how that works out. And yeah,
Why?
man.
Because you know you only have 7 games left with him.
Listen, man. Even Cole Palmer, right? I mean, he did score. Yeah, yeah, he did score. He did score. And right, there's all this talk about him going to Man U and whatnot. So I don't know if we can find a way to, because I think he's a key asset for us. If I'm being completely honest. So if we can find a way to get his mojo going, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all
So Laurent, because I realized the second of these two game suspension for Enzo is the City game, right?
for it. Right.
So talk to me, bro. I need to know how we're gonna beat City without Enzo. Because now I'm kind of cheesed. When I looked at it, I said, "Oh, good job, Liam. You're doing the right thing." But now you're gonna. Then I looked at it and I said, "Oh no, Liam. We need Enzo. We need all our guns for Man City." So I realized he's not gonna be playing. So tell us, man. We need to know how we're gonna get the better of City without Enzo. Now I'm concerned. Telling you, bro, I'm wearing blue for a week, fam. Come on. How are we gonna do this? How are we lining up?
I mean, if we're looking at it now, because I know we still have another episode before that game, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
But
just
you guys don't play midweek because you don't have Champions League. Sorry, I have to get that in there. So, you have a week to prepare. So just tell me how we're gonna do this.
Damn, Chelsea catching strays still.
yeah, or it's funny, eh? Funny, But yeah, no, I think like I said, right, in that 10th position, right, we're going to see the likes of Cole Palmer, which for me allows Esteva or Pedro Neto, right, to then operate on that left side of the flank, and it looked good. It looked good. I think you're going to see those two start in the City game, which I think would be the perfect start, right, for those attacking players. Whereas if we had Enzo, right, obviously you'd put Palmer on the left, and then one of them, right, would start on the bench. But all in all, right, I
Well, I
think.
was thinking who more so plays in the pivot beside Caicedo
Oh, so
Andre
that
Santos
yeah, yeah, you'd
or
have
Reese.
either yeah, it's either
or Reese is out.
Oh yeah,
you'd
Reese
have
is out. Sorry.
you'd have a Santos Caicedo combination, or even a Latvia, right?
Does he fit Lavia like fit enough to play? You think to
Yeah,
start?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, he looks good. Um, so I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I know with Enzo. the biggest turnaround with him was how he was utilized, especially in terms of the build up, right? The key spaces he would take up. Um, and I do think it might differ with Palmer. I don't think he's gonna be used the same as
Mm.
Enzo. But all in all, bro, like even with Palmer, right? He has played that 10 position before. We've seen it. So right, it's not something that's new. And I do think it won't make a world of a difference. Right? So don't worry too much about it. Is what I'll say. And
Well,
yeah.
you guys should worry in the FA Cup because West Ham lost the leads
Mm,
penalties.
mm,
So the semifinals are set. Um, Chelsea take on Leeds, who have been a bogey team for
mm,
Chelsea, and
mm.
City take on Southampton at Wembley.
I mean, listen,
Um,
I had a sigh of relief when I saw the draw, right? Because Southampton, that ain't no joke, right? So yeah, man, for me, I think let City deal with the big guns, and we wait for our spot in the final. Yeah.
Remind me, the two games that you guys played against Leeds this year, what were the score lines?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. A trip down memory lane, eh? Um,
Did you want me to tell you?
yeah, yeah. You can remind me about that one under our former manager.
3-1 at Ellen Road and
That was
2-2
the 3-1 was under our
at
former manager, correct?
and 2-2 at the bridge.
Again, that was under I think Liam,
Liam.
right? And I think
Weren't you guys 2-0 up in that game too?
yeah,
Yes.
we were. So again, right? That's like there's definite improvement, as you can see, right? Oh,
That's
of
me just
course,
moving the goalpost.
of course, man. No, we definitely have to move that one because on one hand, right? You're seeing one manager,
Wait, so
right? We stood no chance with one manager against Leeds. Whereas the new guy, right? He found a way to put us 2-0 up, and at that point,
and
right,
then give it away so you walk away with 1 point. So you're telling me that you need a new manager to come in to
mm,
finally help you get over the hump of beating Leeds.
I think in terms of again, because listen, you're the one that started the podcast talking about systems and right style of play. So I think it's a just point where the type of football that Maresca was playing, for me, because I do think Leeds also sometimes they do play that low block, right?
You do.
Um, where yeah, with under Maresca, it wasn't effective in drawing them out, right? So yeah, I do have confidence that we're going to get over the line
Okay.
with Liam on this one.
Well, before all that happens, we got Champions League, we got Premier League games, and going into this week, Champions League is back. Uh,
Yes.
we're down to the final 8 teams. Madrid, 15-time champions, take on another giant, Bayern Munich. First game is in Spain at Madrid. The Bernabeu is going to be rocking for this game. And it's funny, I was talking to one of my friends who is a Barcelona fan, and he even said, he's like, when Madrid is in the Champions League, you just can't bet against them just because of them being Madrid. I know this is one of the games that we're predicting, but for me, um, I, I truly think Bayern's going to be too much. The only thing that I really want to know, that I don't know if you two know, is what is going on with Bayern's keeper situation, right? Like, do
Oh,
Bayern,
that is a good point because
right?
I got no clue.
Because if they don't have a proper keeper, they're going to be okay. Neuer played last game. Never mind.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was actually
Neuer
just
played
gonna check that.
yesterday. Yeah,
Okay, so
against
then
Freiburg.
yeah, they're good.
Yeah. um, and I think I don't know if you guys saw Madrid lost their game um, the other day. It was the first game back for Kylian Mbappe. They lost to Mallorca 2-1. So they're going into the game not on a high. They were able to rest some players, Jude Bellingham is back. Eder Militao is back.
and Mbappe.
Masantuano is back. So it's gonna be a big clash. It's gonna be a massive clash. Um, Barcelona Atletico back again. I think they played each other like 3 or 4 times this year, no?
They played a lot already, yeah.
And yesterday Barcelona beat them. So
Yeah, this should be a good one.
it,
Given their head-to-heads, this should be a good one. And I'm hoping Atleti come out to play because the way they lost that game, right, over the weekend,
with the red
they're gonna
card,
look,
yeah.
yeah, they're gonna look to make amends for sure.
I mean, to be honest with you, I would even though Barcelona maybe pound for pound do have a better squad, I think losing Rafinha is huge, massive for Barcelona.
Mm.
Marcus Rashford is no slouch, but Rafinha and Yamal and Lewandowski, that front trio, have had a really good rhythm. Watching some of the games, they've had a really good rhythm. So losing Rafinha at the crucial end right now, I think it's not gonna be easy. And the
Mm.
first game is at the Metropolitano. So you know that place is gonna be bumping for this game. 2 games back to back at the Metropolitano against Barcelona. That's gonna be a massive game.
I think the first game is at the
Oh my
Camp Nou.
god. Is it at the Camp Nou? I am an idiot.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it at
at
the
the Camp
Camp
Nou.
Nou? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, even more so than I would say advantage athletic. Because coming for the second leg, they just need to survive the first leg. I would have said advantage Barcelona, but advantage athletic.
Bro, there are players. Who's it? Lookman and I think Alvarez apparently were running
Mm-hmm.
laps after the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Well, they didn't get on. That's why.
Oh,
Yeah, they
oh,
didn't
so they
play.
never played.
No,
Ah,
no, it's common. If you don't play the Suicide Squad, they usually get your kilometers in.
oh, is that like a Diego Simeone thing or?
No, no, no,
Oh, it's like
no.
across all clubs, like they
Yep.
do that. Oh, okay, okay.
Wait, I'm curious to know why they didn't play. Lookman and who you said?
I think Alvarez.
And Alvarez.
There's two big players, man. Is he trying to keep his cards close to his chest for the Champions League?
Probably, probably. Sorloth didn't play either, and Jimenez didn't play.
I mean, that makes sense because I don't think they're even in a position to contend in the La
Mm.
Liga. So yeah, you could rest them and then yeah, go for that CL. So yeah.
Yeah. Last game before we get to the Arsenal game, PSG, Liverpool. Liverpool in crisis, but again, second leg is going to be at Anfield. Liverpool do have European pedigree. In between that, they play Fulham at home, so they're not going to be traveling for the second leg. So it is going to be this is advantage for Liverpool, but I mean the way that PSG dismantled Liverpool and the fact that PSG was able to move their game again,
Wow.
Oh, they did that again?
yeah, yeah,
Dark Arts.
yeah, because they didn't play. So they play PSG, sorry, they play Liverpool, and then their next league game is after the second leg, where they play Lyon April 19th.
Right.
Imagine play with all due respect, and this may not even come across respectfully to those who support Liga, but imagine playing in that league and still requesting additional like rest. You know what I mean? Or asking for like your games to be moved or time off. Like what?
Yeah. So um, I
Uh,
don't I don't give Liverpool any chance. Any chance. And I'm gonna like you can put me down as PSG win. I don't give Liverpool any chance in this game at all. Um Last but not least, Arsenal, Lisbon, the return. Will Gyökeres go to his girlfriend's ex-girlfriend's house prior to the game?
what? Imagine that's the narrative around the game. Like what?
Oh shit! Gyökeres seen at the restaurant with his ex-girlfriend. Is he moving back to Portugal? Stay tuned. No, but real talk, Lisbon, they have this is another team that's been that's had our number. Europa was it was Europa, right?
Europa League.
Europa that yeah that they knocked us out. Obviously, different squad, different players, different manager, but they're no slouch. And given everything we talked about at the first 30 minutes of the pod, I want to see a performance and I want to see us win the leg, win the first leg. Like just win the entire leg in the first game, right? Go up 2-3 nil and just finish it off and just move forward.
Huh, good luck.
Um, I mean, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for out of Arteta.
Are you confident in that?
Fuck no. After watching that game at Southampton, no. But is that something that I want to see? Is that something that's going to give me confidence for the remaining fixtures? Yeah, that would give me a lot of confidence. You know, the type of players that are coming back into the squad for this game, I want to see a rise out of the players, right? And I really want to see what Arteta's going to do in the midfield because I think Max Salmon has, performed in a way that I think he deserves a start. Now, is he going to start? Probably not. Should he come off the bench at a bare minimum? Yeah.
Wait, has he participated in a Champions League match this year?
No, I don't think so because he
I
was
don't think so
injured
either.
in the league phase. I think he was injured for a majority of it.
Wait, so is he like eligible? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Um,
But that's crazy, bro. Ain't no way you guys are gonna rely on a 16-year-old for a Champions League, bro. Come on, man.
I mean
Like, yo,
Yamal.
I'm telling you right now, bro. Those if that player steps on the pitch, those sporting players are going to have a field day.
I mean
Field day. Like,
Yamal did it.
yeah, but again, I feel like there's a bit of difference, right? Because I feel like even Yamal, he had a certain experience. Um, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't think it's quite the same.
I don't
But
know about that because Dalman's been playing U21 ever since he was like 14. I think.
yeah, but this is Champions League, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this gives even the best of players like the goosebumps when they hear that anthem before the kickoff, right? So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys think, right? He's the solution. But I'm telling you right now, bro, if I'm a sporting player and I see that 16-year-old come on, bro, it's I'm gonna show you what men play like. You see what I'm saying? Like 100%, bro. That's what players look to do, right? You see what I'm saying? To get in there in the opponent's head. And then obviously I think that might even get you guys out of your element, bro. We saw even a guy like Martinelli out here shoving the ref for God knows what. Um, and yeah, I think you guys, if that's the way they go about it, you guys could even see a few disciplinary issues because you guys are obviously going to look to protect your player, right?
I mean, to be fair, it happened at Southampton, and Dalman got up every single time. Every single game that he's come on, he's been hit, and he gets up and keeps going.
Well, hey man, um,
I know. I want to see CJ before I give it to pass it all over to you. I want to see I want to see a performance, and I know we've been saying it after losses again and again. I want to see a performance. I want to see our strongest lineup that can be out there. And to be honest with you, I'd rather see Havertz in the midfield with Zubamendi and Rice than Odegaard because I think he unleashes Gyökeres better than Odegaard. So that's I win the leg. If you can't win the leg, win the game. Go back to the Emirates and just put it away.
Yeah, man. I think for me, I'm waiting to see, and Arteta doesn't give anything away in his press conferences, but I'm just curious to know what the fitness updates are on some of these players before I make any assessment or judgment on this game. Because the likes of Saka, Rice, Timber, um, even Zubamendi, even Gabriel, right? If these guys are out, or if there's fitness concerns around some of these players, I'm massively concerned. I'm massively concerned already, to be honest with you. And at this point, I'm kind of just hoping that, like, from what I want out of this game, because again, I don't expect us to go there and thrash them. And I know we beat them in the group stages last year. If you remember, we beat them
Yeah.
5-1 in the group stages when Gyökeres was playing for them. Um, But knockout football, they'll be off of a high of slapping Bodo Glimt, albeit that level of opposition is not the same. So we can't read too much into them beating Bodo Glimt 5-0. But they are at home and they will have that bounce, whereas we're coming off two, negative performances. We're kind of limping at the moment with injuries too. So psychologically, right, momentum is a lot in football. And whilst on paper we're the better team, right, we know the game isn't played on paper like that. So I'm kind of concerned about this game from a momentum standpoint and from the injury front. Um, we need to stay in this game, and if we win, amazing. But if we stay in this game and somehow bring it back to the Emirates, still in the tie, right? Of course, then I'm more confident. But yeah, it's all going to depend on the fitness updates, right, from the medical staff and where those guys are at. And I think one of the biggest things I've been concerned about all season, I've told you guys, is our midfield without Declan Rice looks like a shambles. Like you see, obviously in
Hmm.
the Southampton game, how easy it is for teams to run through our midfield when Declan Rice isn't there. Like we were just so exposed. I know the back line was criticized heavily for Southampton, and rightfully so, but it was also the midfield, right? When you have no midfield protection in front of you, and the midfield is just running straight through the middle of the pitch, and nobody can catch them or keep up, and no one has the legs to get around them or get close to them. Like that's a massive concern for me. And our midfield is not the same without Rice. Just he transforms us in that midfield. And Zubimendi, to be fair, right? Them as a tangent all season have complemented each other well. Um, so I mean, those two are going to be key, right? Those two are going to be key in midfield. If that midfield is not there, not present for Sporting, then I worry for us. I
We're
do worry for
missing
us.
Mikel Merino.
Yeah,
Straight up, we're missing Mikel
yeah,
Merino.
I agree. He's yeah I think he's an underrated part of the squad, man. He's massive for us. I agree with that.
Um, predictions, Mr. Piana, you were unable to provide your predictions for this weekend's game, so CJ was able to pull it within two. I'm within five. Arsenal Sporting, I have Arsenal winning the game. I'm going to trust my boys. I'm going to trust them. Even though I said Arteta out, I want to see a rise out of the players. I want to see a rise out of Arteta, and I want to see him, you know, kick on and bring that trophy home.
I'm not gonna lie, I have us down for a draw in this one.
Laurent,
It's at Sporting.
it is. Just say Sporting, bro. You know you want to.
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a draw.
Wow. Yo, CJ, you see? See the copycat?
If I speak, I'm in big trouble. In big trouble.
PSG Liverpool. I got PSG
I
at
got
Parc des
PSG. I
Princes.
got PSG as well.
I got PSG as well.
Oh, I thought you were gonna back your boy Arnie.
My boy, bro. CJ's the one that predicted them to win the Premier League. What do you mean?
Hmm. Madrid Bayern. This one is gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I'm going Bayern off the rip.
Whoa.
Ah, damn, that's a tough one.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I was gonna say.
Bayern.
Whoa, copycat. Whoa, whoa.
You want me to change my prediction?
You do you, bro. You do you. Whatever you think is gonna bring you back in this.
You know what? I'm gonna trust my friend. I'm gonna go Madrid.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm gonna go Madrid. If that's allowed, if that's allowed for me to change my prediction. I want to play against the rules.
Can I
Yeah, man.
change mine too?
Yeah, I mean if everyone's in agreement, yeah.
Hmm. No, fuck it. Sticking with Bayern, unfortunately.
Hey, shout out Navi. This one's for you, bro. This one's for you.
I mean, they'll win the tie, but I think they're gonna lose this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Oh man.
So I mean, it's gonna be like a 1-0. I think that's what you're thinking, right? Like a 1-0
Me?
win.
No, 2-1. Both teams are gonna score. There's no way Madrid don't score at home.
Yeah, they'll score. I agree.
Um, Mr. Piana, your turn. Give us the outro.
Oof. Jeez, jeez. All right. Well, here we are again with another week of Champions League football. Can Arsenal do it? Can they do it? Can they get over the line? Can they win the trophy that has been eluding them for all these years? Will the jokes finally be put to rest? For those of you at home wondering, you know what kind of jokes I'm talking about. The V jokes. With that aside, we are back officially. Another episode, another banger, another set of thumbnails in case you guys have been paying attention to the YouTube channels, right? We're upping our game. Our technical department is working overtime for you guys to make sure that everything looks pristine on that end. And once again, we'd like to thank you guys for the support. Make sure you hit, share, like, subscribe, right? Do all of that good stuff for us, to get that extra motivation, right? The Liam Senior claps, right? We like that, man. We're suckers for that, right? For that kind of a support, and it allows us to put our heart and soul into delivering this content for you guys on a weekly basis. So thanks again, and yeah, man. I'm proud to be doing this with my two co-hosts over here, Mehrdad and CJ. And yeah, man, it's always a pleasure.
On that bombshell, adios.
Mhm.